for the referendum. There was 3 things we were trying to accomplish when we got this referendum. It had been voted on how many times? Everybody knows, 6, 7 times. It failed, it failed, it failed. Well, it got approved. We're going to retire existing obligations. We did that. We're going to purchase new vehicles and equipment. We did that. We're going to fund an additional fire station, necessary updates to the 2 existing stations. We did that. We did it all within budget. The station was $7 million. That's what we allotted. We worked it into a situation between 5.9 and 6.2, and the last number is 6.4. At this time, and you're an architect, I know that the numbers are so volatile. I'm a contractor. Since COVID, the numbers are so volatile. To be within any percentage of a budget is amazing nowadays. Prices go up, 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 up. Everything we did, we promised the taxpayers we'd do, we did. It's all within budget. My point tonight is, why are things being brought up? This is a huge, huge plus for this district. When I came here 6 years ago, the board I worked with, this place had nothing. No new equipment, no new tools, no new anything. Now they have new tools, new equipment, new gear. Everything's positive, but everyone's going back pointing fingers and trying, what's $13 million we asked for? We stayed within budget. That's almost impossible to do with all this stuff because it took 2 years to plan it. In those 2 years, the prices were going through the roofs. They're going through the roofs on the rigs, on everything. We still made it within budget. I'm here tonight to say, I watched these meeting minutes. Thanks, Doreen. And I can't believe that we're tripping. When I say we, a new board is tripping over what's behind them. I think I made it clear the last time I spoke. Look forward, look to the future. There's a lot of positives out there right now. The morale should be 100 times better than it was when I started with the board I was with. Guys got pay raises, they got better insurance, they got new gear, they got new equipment. Penny ante bullshit has to stop. Boards should be thinking about moving forward, looking back at something that was voted on, approved, and also paid for. And the reason I know this is because I was in every meeting for the construction meeting. I was in at the bid openings. I was in every aspect of the construction. I didn't have to be. I came by my own accordance. I wanted to be part of it. Anyone could have. There's a lot of people in here right now that weren't at any of the meetings. Tom Kennedy wasn't on the board, but he was at 75% of the meetings. I never heard Tom say once in a meeting, hey, I don't like what's going on with this fire station. You know, I don't know. I never heard that. But now the station is this close to being done, and I'm watching minutes from this thing, and we're kicking the ball and pointing fingers and saying, hey, you're over budget. We're not over budget. Number one, if we're going to state facts, okay? And if you're going to state facts, the facts are actually on your website. Go to them. Look at them. The votes are on there. There was 5 yes votes for that. Why this was in part of the conversation, I don't know. I want to be clear. I'm proud of what I did when I was with the board here. A lot of things got accomplished. There's a lot of good that happened. They're way better off than they were 6 years ago. That station is something to be very proud of.
Okay, thank you.
Stop kicking the ball down the road behind you.
Appreciate it. Okay. That'll take us to our reports. James, you have a financial report?
Yep. All right, let's walk through the 4 months ended August 31. We'll start with some revenue highlights. Again, 47% of the total revenue budget's been collected. Taxes in at 2.9 million or 55%. So again, in this, or last month I should say, in September, we'll receive that second installment. That should take us up to 100%. Ambulance fees, 497,000. It's very close to where we are in the year at 30% collected. PPRT's in at about 9,100. That's at 57%. Interest, 73,000 or 35%. That looks good. And then no debt proceeds or sale of assets. Look at the revenues line by line. Percent of budget versus last year. Taxes in at 55%, up 10. Interest in at 35%, up 1. Ambulance fees there, you can see in at 30%, but we are 45% over where we were last year. So again, I do expect more, considering there's more in the pipeline, more positive collections down the road. All in, 3.5 million in revenue, 7.3 million is the budget. We're at 47%, up 13, inclusive of the internal transfers. So look at the revenues year to date. Property taxes 83%, ambulance fees 14, fire recovery 0.1, interest 2, PPRT 0.3. For the month of August, another good month. 131,000 collected. We're averaging 124,000 a month. Our goal or target is 137,000, so we're getting closer. And again, last year over 12 months, it was 106,000. Some expenditure highlights, 33% of the way through. We've expensed 39% of the total budget. Ops look good at 30%, so 3% under where we are in the year. Salaries at 30% on 9 to 26 payrolls. Contractual services at 30%. Vehicle maintenance and fuel at about 46%. Capital outlay debt service at 46%. Station 3 at about 2.7 million. The engine at 407,000, and then bond interest payments to date 222,000. So as we look at these line by line, percent of budget versus last year, personnel's in at 30%, down 8. Contractual services also at 30%, up 24. Looks like fire station here, we've had some additional fire station needs, so that looks like it's exceeding the budget by 17%, pretty much double last year, but again, a much smaller number, so it doesn't really impact the overall budget. 1.6 million in total ops spend, 5.2 million is the budget, so we're at 30%, we're down 2% from last year's spend. As we talked about, debt services and interest payments, so that's at 12% of the budget, and then capital outlay at about 57%. Year-to-date personnel, 82% of the pie, contractual services 9, materials and supplies 1, fire station 3, vehicle maintenance and fuel about 4. So after 4 months, again, we know we're building the station, waiting on the second half of our taxes. So right now we're using reserves up to about 1.5 million. We started though with 6.7 million almost. So we're about 5.2 million in ending fund balance, which pretty much mirrors cash. Again, just because of the station construction and those payments going out, you can see we're going to be in a very different position than the last 2 years. Obviously, we're spending those bond proceeds that we took in the prior year. If we look at though the operating margin, I would say you can see that looks pretty positive as we're pretty much flat, a little bit less of a spend through 4 months than last year. We were about 1.6 million this year, 1.55, and again increased revenue to about 2.45 million. Investments, about 4.8 million across all accounts. We are going to start to see these money markets dip just slightly as we got that 25 point basis point cut, I should say. So again, we'll see those probably dip just slightly. Maybe an opportunity to invest a little bit more as those taxes come in into our Schwab or brokered account to try to get a little bang for the buck. All in though, those numbers look pretty good. That's still north of 4%. That concludes my presentation of the financials. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Do you have any questions for James? Okay. All right, thank you. Chief's report.
Okay, the big news for this past month is in staffing. Unfortunately, we did lose one of our firefighter paramedics, Connor Sardo. He's left the district to pursue full-time employment with another department. But that's the only bad news. The good news is we just had a new guy start today, firefighter paramedic Nick Osman. He's going through orientation. He's going to be joining us as a part-time member. We have a couple of new firefighter paramedics. Jason Rush successfully tested into Delnor system. He just passed his paramedic exam recently. He is now a full standalone paramedic and engine operator. Brian Klippel has also completed all training needed to function as an engine operator. He is checked off and ready to go. And Josh Ruiz has passed his road test. He will be obtaining his Class B non-CDL license this week. And then finally, we've got another up-and-coming FAE engine operator. Tay Holloman completed the FAE class and will be challenging the state test in the near future. Under operations, DC Niesel and myself have updated all response cards and Mavis cards and submitted them to Kane County. That's in preparation for the opening of Station 3. Under public education outreach, we attended several safety drills and block parties, as well as ECC Touch a Truck and the United Fall Fest in Campton. Some minor repairs to our fleet. We repaired the tank to pump relay on the old 1811 and some basic maintenance on 1852. And then finally, we have some new equipment purchased for Station 3. The fill station and compressor have been installed, and the hose racks and drying racks have been completed at Station 3. And speaking of Station 3, DC Niesel is going to give us a little update on where things stand as of today. So I'll hand the floor over to you, Jim.
Yeah, we're close. A couple trustees were out today. I've had some others in recent weeks, which is great, going through everything. you know, they're at the point where most of the living quarter side, they're in there washing walls, cleaning walls, you know, doing stuff like that, getting it closed up. While some other work, there's a little bit of plumbing, there's a little bit of repair work on some materials maybe that didn't work out, things like that. Today, the parking lots were being striped, the parking blocks are being installed. That was later in the afternoon. They also did they're doing final walkthroughs with the architects and the engineers and really taking their time and nitpicking. So there's going to be some punch lists off of that, which is pretty typical. And that's going to continue tomorrow morning. Met with the county today and putting signs out on the road, you know, the fire truck signs that you see all the time. And Kane County's really coming through and helping us out a lot on that, along with the township being a township road. So, you know, they'll stripe the road in front of the station, they'll put the signs out, they'll put the signs, don't park on those lines, things like that. So there's all these little things that are happening. We're really close to getting done. Once this punch list is done, I think, you know, within a week or so, they'll be pushing for final occupancy with the county and getting that on the board. So it's right there. Within a couple weeks, you know, these things will be getting done. I do see them catch some stuff with these walkthroughs and these inspections with the architects and engineers, which it's all great. You know, find it now and fix it right. You know, there's not a big timeline on this thing. It's more like let's get it done right and, you know, and get going. So anytime, you know, anybody's welcome to give me a call and we'll take them through. I'm there pretty much every day for some part of the day, for sure.
So when do you think they're gonna call for final occupancy?
Yeah, it's gonna be after next week. I would say that, you know, within next week, I think they're gonna be right there.
Okay.
You know, it's up to them and it's up to the engineers and the architects, what they're seeing on that, but I think they're gonna be ready for that. Yeah, there's gonna be punch lists of things that they gotta come back and get and make the contractors own up to, but that's where I think we're gonna be.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say the sooner the better for the final occupancy, because then it gives you guys time to make any corrections that the county might have too.
Yeah.
That way we can stay on track.
Yep. And they've been in contact and there's been a good relationship there, but again, you never know. It's another set of eyes looking at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, you guys, for Keith? Okay. We don't have John here today, so there's no attorney's report. And I don't have anything. So that will take us to our consent agenda. Is there anything, any of A through C that you guys would like to pull? Nope. All right, then do I have a motion to approve consent agenda A through C?
Motion. Second.
Thank you.
Trustee Kennedy?
Aye.
Trustee McManus?
Aye.
Trustee Seifert?
Aye.
Trustee Gaffney?
Yes.
Trustee.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Motion passes. All right, that takes us to our action items. Our first item up is item A, the presentation by James Howard of the 2025 tax levy.
All right, so this is probably the most important thing we do all year. We're going to walk through the 2025 proposed tax levy. So tonight we basically just make our determination if we're going above 5%, which would then in tune make us publish and have a hearing for the levy. But as you'll see as we walk through, we don't need to do that given the low CPI 2.9%. Just to kind of walk down memory lane here, you can kind of see where our tax rate is falling. You can see the jump with the referendum passing, and then it's come back down over the last few years. So we're at about 0.3906. That was the 2024 tax extension. And then you can see where it was hovering prior to the referendum. Again, typically as EAVs continue to rise, the rate will fall. But again, every year we try to maximize what we can get under the tax cap, given that's our biggest revenue stream. In terms of a tax bill, this is just a sample bill. You can see we're about 5, almost 6% of the total bill. That is relatively low. Typically fire districts are about the second largest on the bill, but again, for us, we run on taxes and ambulance fees. Some of these other municipalities have a lot more revenue streams that they get in terms of like sales tax and good tax. Here's a historical look, hopefully this cleans up here in a minute. Just kind of what the levies were for the past, and these are the extensions, so this is what we should get. It doesn't show collections here. But just to kind of walk you down the last year's extension, you can see we received about 4.5% more in those capped funds. So for us, it's corporate ambulance and emergency rescue. Those are really our operating funds. And then, of course, with the passage of the referendum, the bonds and interest that pay back the loan that we took for the stations and the vehicles. So again, you can see about 5.2 million last year, brought our rate down to 0.3906. You can see that increase in assessed value, almost a 13% increase in value. So that's, that's pretty considerable. Values are going up. We've had some good new growth every year. You can't see that there because it's all fuzzy, but last year, new growth was 13.5 million, the year before that 9.3. So we're trying to capture with the levy the new growth as well as the CPI. And again, we've had high CPI, so we're coming off 7, 6.5. Last year was 3.4, this year 2.9. So again, the lowest of the last 4. So this is the main slide tonight. So you can see there, we're going to look at about 4.99% over the prior year's extension. So that keeps us under 5, so we don't have to publish or have the hearing. New money for offsets about 132,000, and we will get capped back. That's the PTEL factor or reduction. Anything under 1 means we're getting everything we could under the cap. So the levy request would be in yellow there. You can see the corporate fund about 2.5 million, about 519,000 respectively for rescue and ambulance, and then our bond and interest. Again, I reached out to Anthony with Spear. He's got those numbers for us, about 1.7 million. So we're not even close to any of those maximum rates. You can see that in kind of the fourth column from the left. Those 0.4s, again, corporate and ambulance, we don't have to worry about those. As you can see, as you move all the way to the right through the tax cap, we're looking at about 0.175 on the corporate fund and about 0.036. So there's plenty of room for us there. We don't have to worry about those maximum fund rates. And just for takeaways tonight, again, the board makes its determination of the levy. Publication hearing right now are not required as we're at 4.99%, so less than 5. CPI 2.9, we're expecting an EV increase per the numbers that have been released by the counties of about 5.6% and new growth at 13 million. So again, we're trying to capture the 2.9 and the 13 million in new growth. We'll be able to do that at 4.99. It's a 3.9% increase we're estimating over the 2024 extension. So we're going to get the 2.9 CPI plus almost 1% in new growth. And then the total proposed levy, $5,281,580. Corporate fund, $2,520,000. Ambulance fund, $518,700. Emergency rescue, $518,700. And bond and interest, $1,724,180. That's all I have on the levy. And again, what we'll do then is if the board accepts the 4.99, we'll put that in ordinance form to approve at the next meeting, make sure that gets filed with the county. That's all I have. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Anybody have any questions for James? Okay. So then we'll discuss the ordinance next then. Is that it? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, no action for tonight.
So we don't need to discuss, we don't need to do that?
Yep, next
Okay.
meeting.
All right. Okay, thank you for that presentation.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. All right, then that'll take us to item C, which is the discussion and possible action on the promotion of one member to the rank of lieutenant.
So items C and D are actually related.
Okay.
We have a current battalion chief will be retiring as of November 20th. That will make a vacancy in the battalion chief rank, so we'll need to promote up a battalion chief from the lieutenant's rank, leaving an opening in the lieutenant's rank, so we'll have to fill that as well. So it's actually creating 2 promotions with this one action. What I'm asking is that you approve the promotion of 1 lieutenant off the lieutenant's list and 1 lieutenant off the battalion chief's list, and I'm asking if you make that effective November 16th. The reason for that is the old battalion chief, his last day is the 20th, and the 16th is the first day of the pay period, which makes things a whole lot easier. And it all just works very smoothly. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Can you give us the names?
Top person on the list for the battalion chiefs is Scott Sutherland Jr. The top person on the list for the lieutenant's promotion is Ken Wright. I see no reason why either of them should be bypassed. They're both fine individuals, and I recommend either one of them for promotion.
You need a motion?
Do you need a motion?
I would do it too.
Did you? Alright, so we'll do the first one then. So do I have a motion to, do you want me to use the name?
Just promote the top person off the list would be appropriate, and if you could make it effective November 16th, I would appreciate
Okay.
that.
Do I have a motion to approve the promotion, for one member to the rank of lieutenant off the top list, effective November 16th?
Make a motion? I'll second it.
Thank you. Jason?
Trustee McManus.
Yes.
Trustee Seifert.
Yes.
Trustee Gaffney.
Yes.
Trustee Kennedy.
Yes.
Trustee Manheim.
Yes. Motion passes. Alright, do I have a motion to approve the promotion of one member to the rank of battalion chief from the top of the list, effective November 16th?
Make a motion? I'll second.
Thanks, guys.
Trustee Gaffney.
Yes.
Trustee Kennedy.
Yes.
Trustee McManus.
Yes.
Trustee Seifert.
Yes.
Trustee Manheim.
Yes. Motion passes. Alright. That takes us to item E, the discussion and possible action of acceptance of the AFG grant.
So talking about all the positive things that are happening around here, I've got one more for us. This one was unexpected, so I'm especially happy about it. We put in for an AFG grant last year, and one of the main reasons I put in for it is if you are unsuccessful with an AFG grant, it actually bumps up your odds in the subsequent year. So I figured the thing that we needed most was probably turnout gear. I wrote an AFG grant for $72,000 for 15 new sets of turnout gear, and lo and behold, we actually got it. I would not have put money on that if I were a betting man, but we'll take the money. Having said that, it's actually up to you to decide whether we take the money. What they are offering is the federal government will supply $65,454.54. As a condition of accepting the grant, we need to match 10%, which is $6,545.46. A fantastic deal for 15 sets of turnout gear, in my opinion. I'm asking you to approve the grant tonight.
May I have any questions for Keith on the grant?
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice job.
Okay. Then do I have a motion to accept the AFG grant?
I'll make a motion? I'll second it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Trustee Seifert.
Yes.
Trustee Gaffney.
Yes.
Trustee Kennedy.
Yes.
Trustee McManus.
Yes.
Trustee Manheim.
Yes. Motion passes. Appreciate it. Thanks again, Chief.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. That concludes our action items. Is there any new business anybody would like to bring up? No? Okay. We're not have a closed session tonight, so 6:28. I will adjourn us. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Trustee Kennedy.
Yes.
Trustee McManus.